Good morning, everyone, and welcome to NFL Sunday Preview, where we talk about the NFL and everything from games of the week to fantasy football. I'm Billy Hunt here with Luke Nichols and Eric Van Horn. There was one game that already happened this week, and that was Thursday night between the Jaguars and the Titans. And now over to Josh Mobley to talk more about that game.
Hey guys, talk to you about the Thursday night game. This Thursday night was another division game, and we went all the way down in the AFC South with the Jaguars beating the Tennessee Titans 20-7. This game was all about the Jaguars pretty much. Jaguars defense really showed up. They had 9 sacks on Marcus Mariota. They were led by Calais Campbell, who had 3 sacks and a forced fumble. Their other prize possession, Josh Allen, also had 2 sacks and a forced fumble. And the cornerback, Pro Bowl cornerback Jalen Ramsey, who was in trade talks, had 9 tackles and a forced fumble, so he showed up. Their defense came to play. And we can't mention the Jaguars without mentioning Gardner Minshew, the mustache, who had a 108 QB rating, had over 200 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. He showed up to play for the Jacksonville Jaguars. There ain't much to really talk about in Tennessee Titans side because Marcus Mariota stunk it up. And he was under duress and was on the ground a whole lot of times because Jaguars defense came in, tumbling him down, pushing him down on the ground, especially Calais Campbell. So Jacksonville Jaguar fans, y'all got a lot to celebrate about because of the mustache, Gardner Minshew, and the Jaguars defense. That's Thursday Night Football.
Controversy in Jacksonville. I mean, Gardner Minshew, man, he's been playing out of his mind lately. 204 yards, 2 touchdowns, good week. But I want to start talking about Marcus Mariota. Like, what happened to him? I don't know. He fell off.
I don't think he was ever,
when he first came in the league.
He was never really great.
When he first came in the league, he was a playoff quarterback, him and Derek Carr. And he had a line protecting him. He had some weapons to throw to, and then everything just fell off.
He doesn't have many weapons now. I mean, he's got Delaney Walker, but he's old and always banged up. I mean, who's their best receiver? Guy they just drafted? A.J. Brown, I think?
Yeah.
He really doesn't have that much to work with besides Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
They never had a defense. They have a running game.
Yeah, Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
He had another touchdown this week.
They never had really quality receivers. Like Luke said, Delaney Walker's okay, but he's not.
He's all
fantastic.
banged up.
He's old.
They need to just go into this offseason and this draft and probably just get mostly offense for Marcus Mariota to really shine if they're going to keep Mariota.
I still don't know if I would stay with Mariota.
Yeah.
I don't know how comfortable I am with him as a franchise guy. I don't think you can win a Super Bowl with him.
No. There are some throws that he missed too.
I just don't hear anything about him anymore but his line, he got sacked 9 times.
Yeah. They are missing
terrible.
their best lineman, Taylor Lewan. I think he's still out for another 2 games.
Yeah.
But even though.
Getting him back, that'll help a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't know, because I remember a couple years ago when he first came to the league, they were talking, this Titans offensive line is one of the best I've ever seen. And they were ranked 3rd by PFF.
Yeah, they're always up there.
They were always good, and now him getting sacked, that's not going to help.
No.
And the defense, I don't know anybody on that defense either. It's just a bad. I feel like it's a poorly ran franchise.
Yeah, it's a weird team.
Yeah, but you got to give a lot of credit to the Jags too. I mean,
their defense. Yeah, all that with the Ramsey stuff, their defense coming in playing well. Yeah, it was big for them.
Gardner Minshew has probably one of the best personalities for an NFL quarterback that I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's
like Baker, but
just better.
Not as toxic, and is actually playing better right now.
Yeah, he's playing really well. When he came in against the Chiefs, he played really well. Last week he played solid again, and this week he's more of a game manager type. He only threw the ball 30 times, which for today's NFL is not a lot, but 204 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he got his team a win.
I don't know if there's people are going to start to talk about do you keep Minshew over Foles?
No, none of that.
No.
I mean, I want to see how the rest of the season goes, but you sign someone to that much money. I don't think you just move on.
I mean, unless Minshew turns into Patrick Mahomes or one of these next great quarterbacks.
No, he's not that.
He's not going to be. He's going to be a decent game manager.
Yeah, exactly.
But when Foles is healthy and ready to go back in, you're going to put Foles back in. You don't pay a guy $88 million, have him sit on the bench to mustache.
Because Minshew won't lose you games, but he won't win you games. Nick Foles can win you games. he looked good that first couple drives against the Chiefs. He on his
that
touchdown, it was like a
one.
54-yard touchdown pass, and he unfortunately got hurt. But I think I don't know what the Jags' plan is. Like, I don't know if they're a win now team or like try
I
to
don't
build a
think they
team
are.
around Foles, and then. But if they're try to build a team around Nick Foles, then they are not going to rush him back. And they'll maybe let Minshew play like 1 or 2 more weeks and use him as a trade piece to send him somewhere else.
I feel like they kind of like maybe 2 years ago when they made the AFC Championship game. I think they didn't realize like how good their defense was, so they kind of like weren't a win now team, and then they started to like play really well, and their defense started to play really well, and then they're like, all right, maybe we are a win now team, and now they're kind of realizing like maybe not so much.
Yeah, it's,
I think they missed their window.
Yeah, I
I
think
mean,
they missed it too.
with Ramsey,
and then,
that whole thing.
But the thing was, they didn't have a quarterback to get them.
No, they didn't. They still had Bortles at the
Bortles.
time. I mean,
And
but
where's he now?
I think he's a backup on
Yeah.
the Rams.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
So he'll never play there. Well, unless Goff gets hurt. But
Yeah,
Goff,
but-
solid quarterback.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, just like we said, another good game, 20-7. Credit to the Jaguars for having a whole lot of controversy and Gardner Minshew really stepping it up, playing well and getting a win. And hopefully, I'd like to see what the Jags can do from here on out. Because if their window is like 7-7 and Nick Foles comes back, you know that whole story. But we got some really good games going on this week, and we'll send it back over to Josh for the 2-minute drill.
Hey guys, this is 2-minute drill with me. Guys, it's football all day long. That's how we love it. We're going to start off with the 1 o'clock games. We got the Bengals versus the Bengals at the Bills with Andy Dalton and Josh Allen, who's playing at a good level. We got the Bills in 2-0. Will he keep them to be 3-0, undefeated? Oh, man, we'll see. We got the Lions versus my Eagles. We're going to see Carson Wentz play without a lot of his prized weapons. We'll see him triumph over the Lions and Matthew Stafford later on in 1 o'clock. And we got the Jets at the Patriots. The Jets have nobody really on their team except for Le'Veon Bell. They are plagued by injuries. And against Tom Brady, that's the wrong person to play when you don't got no team for real. And you got Josh Gordon and all those guys going to show off against them. But you got the Raiders at the Vikings. Derek Carr against that defense. Oh, man, you got Everson Griffin and Xavier Rhodes. They're going to be all over Derek Carr later on today. You got the Ravens and the Chiefs, who can be probably the best game at 1 o'clock, probably the best game of the whole Sunday, the whole week. Patrick Mahomes against Lamar Jackson. Should be a lot of points on that board. Will Lamar Jackson be able to keep up with Patrick Mahomes? You're going to see. And we got the Falcons and Julio Jones against Jacoby Brissett and T.Y. Hilton and all those guys over there in Indianapolis. Julio should have another big game today at 1 o'clock. And we got the Broncos and the Packers with Case Keenum and Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers should be lighting up that scoreboard because the Broncos defense hasn't really shown up this year. They haven't been a disappointment so far. And we got the Dolphins versus the Cowboys. Dak Prescott and the boys, they're going to really show off against the Dolphins, who have been a team that a lot of people just been scoring a whole lot of points on. So you're going to have a crazy game over there with the Cowboys. You got the Giants and the Bucks at 4:05. Daniel Jones getting his season debut as the starting quarterback against Jameis Winston. Well, who going to win that? And Saquon Barkley should also have a feast on that defense as well. And you got the Panthers at the Cardinals also at the 4 o'clock time frame. You don't got no Cam Newton, who's injured. So you got Kyle Allen stepping in against Kyle Murray, two guys who played at Texas A&M, who fought for the starting job at Texas A&M. And we'll see if Kyle Murray will continue to have a great rookie season as he's been showing up. And we got the Steelers with no Big Ben, who's out for the year. We have Mason Rudolph stepping up to the plate against Jimmy G, who has a lot of money and has been playing very well since the year has been started. And they also undefeated, the 49ers. Will he steamroll against the Steelers with no Big Ben? We'll have to see. And then we also have the Saints against the Seahawks. Another team without their starting quarterback. no Drew Brees. You got Teddy Bridgewater and Taysom Hill. Yes, they're going a 2-quarterback system stepping in today against Russell Money Wilson. Russell Wilson and Chris Carson and Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf should have a feast maybe against the Saints, but we'll see with no Drew Brees. And you got a thriller game against the Texans and the Chargers. Phillip Rivers and Keenan Allen against Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins. Should be a lot of points scored, and especially defenses have not really been playing up to par this year, so we'll see. Should be a high-scoring game, I think. And tonight we have a big game with the Rams and the Browns. And we got Jared McGough against Baker Mayfield and Odell Beckham. Should be another high-scoring game. Well, it could be many different things. Could be a high-scoring game. Could be a low-scoring game if the defenses bring it. Could be a high-scoring game if the offenses bring it. Two quarterbacks that should be a very fun-filled game as they show off. And Monday night we got the Bears against the Redskins. That game probably wouldn't be that too much exciting, but we got Mitchell Trubisky against Case Keenum. We'll see how those guys do. But that's the 2-minute drill with Josh.
Thank you, Josh, as always. And first game we're going to talk about, the big one, Ravens-Chiefs. Your Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens. What do you want to talk about in this one?
I'm really excited. So I think about last year, the playoff game? No, it was regular season game. And the Mahomes 4th and 9 throw, miraculous hurl to Tyreek Hill. He had the first down. Chiefs end up winning that game in overtime. But there's a lot of things different in this game. Both teams are improved, but Tyreek Hill's hurt, and they had Tyreek Hill the last time the teams played. So I think that makes a difference. But also the Chiefs now have Damian Williams, and they have LaShawn McCoy. Damian Williams isn't playing today, so that hurts. LaShawn McCoy was questionable, but he is going to play. And I think another factor to look at is the Ravens' tight ends. Mark Andrews is the big one. He has been Lamar Jackson's first or second primary weapon through the first 2 weeks.
Well, he was also his only weapon last year.
But he's 50-50 to play today. He's expected to go, but it's still a game-time decision. But then the other two tight ends are Hayden Hurst and Nick Boyle, and they've also made big contributions in the past game so far. And they're going to be primarily covered by the Chiefs linebackers, who to this point have really struggled against covering tight ends and mismatches against running backs or even slot receivers. So I want to see how they fare against tight ends.
Yeah, the thing is the Ravens have a lot better defense than the Chiefs do. They have Earl Thomas. They got Matthew Judon. They have guys that can get to your quarterback. I mean, Mahomes is an unbelievable quarterback. He doesn't really panic at all under duress. But if you can put a little more pressure and force him to get it out just a little quicker, he may miss some throws. But the thing I'm looking forward to is watching Hollywood Brown play, Marquise Brown. This man is an absolute stud, and he's taken this Ravens offense to the next step. Last year they had John Brown try to be their little run.
He wasn't.
But he's not.
Special,
he's
really.
nothing like Hollywood Brown.
No,
This man,
Hollywood Brown is something.
One of the fastest receivers in the league. He's got great hands. He knows how to run routes, and he can burn you deep. And I think they're going to hit a lot of big plays to him this year, and he's letting Lamar be able to air the ball out. Last year, everything that Lamar did was dink and dunk, run, options, triple options. It was more like a college-style offense. But now they're taking the step, a pro-style offense, and Lamar can still really hurt you with his legs.
Yeah, I want to see how this Chiefs defense does against Hollywood Brown and Lamar Jackson. Because we've seen in the first 2 weeks, Hollywood Brown has just been burning people like Tyreek
and Mark
does.
Andrews is at 100
and
yards
Mark
each 2
Andrews.
weeks.
Yeah. Mark Ingram had a 100-yard rushing game. And obviously, Lamar Jackson can still run the ball very well.
Yeah, he had 100 yards last week.
Yeah,
over
100 yards
last
rushing.
week.
I want to see how this Chiefs defense with Tyrann Mathieu and all these new guys and their new defensive coordinator, how they can contain Lamar Jackson, the pinnacle dual-threat quarterback. Probably one of the best dual-threat quarterbacks since Mike Vick.
I think one of the things that not a lot of people talk about when you have someone on your team like Tyreek Hill is they practice against him every day. Marquise Brown is not faster than Tyreek Hill.
It's close, though.
He's not
I'm not
faster.
saying he's
It's
faster
not,
than him, but
yeah,
he's
but
the
there's
same kind of player. You
there's
send him down the
no
field,
one
he's
in
going to
the
burn
league.
the corner.
There's no one in the league that plays that way that's as dangerous or more dangerous than Tyreek Hill. whether I'm a Chiefs fan or I'm not. That's just
Yeah,
the case.
I can
that's
agree
how
with that statement.
that's how defenses prepare for him. That's how teams see him. That's just how it is.
Yeah, I can agree with
So
that.
when you have to practice against that every day, even if your secondary isn't great, you're prepared for it. I'm not saying they're gonna shut him down.
Yeah, but it's different because you're practicing against it, but it's hard because the Ravens are going to run a different.
But
They're
it's
going to
not-
scheme them open
Yeah, they're not going to do
differently.
the same exact thing as the
Exactly.
Chiefs do.
It's not like the Ravens are playing a team that doesn't have that guy. It's not like that team has never seen it before. The Chiefs see that speed every day. So whether or not you've played against it, it matters, but not to the same effect as another team because the Chiefs know what that speed looks like. It's like if you have something, you're better prepared to defend it.
Yeah, but I still think it's going to be it's still a really big matchup. Like you're saying, but you can prepare for it as much as you want, but it's a whole different monster once you get in the game because you're watching. Their eyes are going to go. Say Lamar Jackson rolls out of the pocket. Everybody in the secondary eyes, if they're not in man-to-man coverage, are going to go towards Lamar Jackson. It's
You
like,
don't
oh,
want
he
him-
might
you don't
take
want him
off.
scrambling
You don't want him
for
taking
15
off.
yards.
Yeah, exactly.
He can do
Then
that easily.
They maybe bite a little bit. Brown
Brown makes a cut, goes outside, something, helps
and
him out.
He's gone.
Yeah.
It's totally different.
He
Like,
gets into open space, you're not
Exactly.
going to catch him.
They also did the same thing last year with John. They used Marquise Brown in the same role as John Brown. He's
yeah,
just
but
better.
John Brown.
John Brown
is
isn't
just,
as
exactly.
fast
That's
as
not.
Marquise
That's
Brown.
not the point. The
Yeah,
point.
John Brown's easy to stop. Marquise Brown isn't.
Yeah.
He's so much faster. He's a little taller, and he's got
But
way
that's not
better
the
hands.
point. The point is that if you're preparing to play the Ravens offense, you're worried about the same things last year as you were this year, except Lamar Jackson's better. So
He
it's
can
not,
throw the ball.
And they
He
got
can
a
throw
better.
the
Yeah,
It's
he
ball.
can
not-
throw it. All they did was stack the box last year.
but it's
Yeah.
not that you don't need to hold the Ravens to 10 points.
Yeah, because you're scoring more.
Because the Chiefs are one of the 3 best scoring offenses in football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to get held to 10. You don't need to hold them to 10.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I just think the Ravens.
I do
team
like the
is
Ravens
a lot-
offense.
The Chiefs
is-
can
All right,
give
the
up
I think they
Chiefs'
improved
offense
a
is
lot.
a lot better, but
Yeah.
without Tyreek Hill and without Damian Williams, and the defense is just not up to standards. The Ravens have a better team. Like
Tyreek Hill played half of the first half, the first game. The Chiefs hung 40 on one of the best defenses in football.
Who?
Jacksonville.
I don't know.
Then they give up 20 points since then, total. Then they played the Raiders. Are the Raiders good? No.
No.
But,
Not at all.
But they get held to 0 points in the first quarter without Tyreek Hill. Then, so the Jaguars game, you see, okay, Sammy Watkins is still kind of a premier player.
Yeah.
You can see how he can go
He's
off for a big
good.
game.
He's a good number 2.
Yeah.
Then
he's a good
Demarcus
player.
Robinson has 200 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And you put up Mahomes throws for 279 yards and 4 touchdowns in 1 quarter. No quarterback has ever done that before. So it's not that the Ravens are this whole other team that the Chiefs had never played that kind of team before, and it's this scary of a matchup.
They're just a lot better than the
Yeah,
other
they're much
two
better than
teams.
last year.
'Cause
Plus, they're a lot better than the Raiders.
Yeah,
the Raiders last week.
The Ravens defense is so underrated. Like they got guys that just
It's
get
always
to the
good.
quarterback, and
It's always
they got
good, no matter
they
what.
got good linebackers. Even though they lost Mosley, they have guys that are stepping in, and they got Humphrey playing alongside Earl Thomas. They got good guys. Like
but they
they're-
played them last year. Are
Yeah,
they better?
but
Yeah, but
and
the
the
Chiefs are better
Ravens
too.
almost won last year.
I don't know if the Chiefs
now
are better. They
the
got
Chiefs are
one
better.
guy in the secondary. They're without their number one wide
Mahomes is
receiver.
better. They improved the pass rush. They improved the secondary. The secondary couldn't get worse last year.
I mean,
Yeah.
but you said they had a top.
I would say this. The Ravens defense is definitely got a different matchup because they got Earl Thomas in that backfield, and in the secondary, which is going to change the game. That speed is going to be out, can still be there with N'Keal Hartman and stuff. They got him, but I think Earl Thomas is going to be the person that changes the game because he's different than Eric Weddle. He's a ball hawk in that secondary, so he's going to get interceptions off of Mahomes. I feel as though, and Lamar is better. It's
Mahomes
going to be a
doesn't really throw
shootout. It's
picks,
going to be
so
a
that's-
big game, but that secondary that they got in Baltimore is going to be the difference maker in this game. I feel as though.
Yeah, but Mahomes doesn't throw picks.
No, he really doesn't.
He is. I don't like to say it because me and you, but he is the best quarterback in the NFL right now. If I'm starting a team and I have to pick a quarterback, I'm picking Patrick Mahomes. Like
Just
in
the
a
way he
heartbeat.
throws the ball. You see him
Yeah,
like
it's
off
just
balance
insane.
and he just like flicks it.
Yeah.
And it goes 40
But
yards,
you
50
gotta-
yards.
I've watched almost every game that's been on since he's been drafted. you can't treat
can't,
him like
yeah.
he's
No,
just another
really
quarterback.
can't. Yeah,
That's why I'm saying
Yeah.
the Ravens defense, no matter what players they have, you don't stop him from scoring 28 points.
Exactly.
So
we'll
the
see.
Ravens are going to have to score 28 points, and I think the Chiefs can stop them from getting there, if not higher.
So what's your score?
35, Chiefs 35, Ravens 21.
I got the Chiefs 24, Ravens 17.
Josh.
The Ravens 28-24.
I have
Because
the
Earl
Ravens.
Thomas will be the difference maker. I feel as their secondary is not like corny. Like they got studs in that secondary. And Earl Thomas is a ball hawk on for Patrick Mahomes, who had 12 picks last year. He gets a little happy, back
50
there
touchdowns.
sometimes. 50 touchdowns. He had 12 picks. He do throw some picks. He had some games where he had like more picks in the first half, comes in the second half, do a little different. But Earl Thomas is a guy who gets picks. I'm telling you, watch out. for
I'm
him.
going 31-28 Ravens. I think Mahomes will probably go for like 320 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. But I
Basic
think Lamar's
day for
going
him.
to outplay him. Not outplay him. Sorry, not
Just-
outplay him. Outscore him. Because I think maybe a backup running back might fumble. Maybe Mahomes might get sacked and fumble. Like it's going to be a close game through and through. But one team is going to turn the ball over, and that's going to cost them the game. All right. So the second game we're going to go talk about is the Texans versus the Chargers. The Texans are looking really good. I mean, they're 1-1, but I think they're looking good with Will Fuller, and that's my guy. I
Will
talk about
Fuller's
it every
good.
week. But the Chargers, Phillip Rivers last week. What was that?
Yeah, they I don't know what happened with them last week. That game was bad. They just looked kind of off in a sense, but even though the Texans, they gave up a lot of sacks and a lot of pressure again. It's the Jaguars, you're going to do that, but they got to get some kind of protection for Deshaun Watson so he can get at least 2-3 seconds back there to find D-Hop, find Will Fuller, get those guys like yards and receptions. But
Because you can't just run like three and outs.
no, you can't. You
Or
can't
five-
just run
3 and outs,
slants,
5 and ins,
screens.
and slants.
You can't
Like,
keep doing that.
that's
You
not
got
gonna-
you got to air the ball out sometimes.
You got to have somebody go over the top, and if he gets 1.5 seconds to throw, he's not going to be able to launch it downfield.
They a couple weeks ago they invested heavy draft capital into Laramie Tunsil.
Yep.
And I mean, I'm sure he's made a difference, but Deshaun Watson is still getting the ball, and immediately the pocket collapses. That there aren't many offensive lines that are that bad. That the Seahawks offensive line was bad a couple
But they
years ago.
Yeah, they were
revamped
bad.
it. They're
Yeah.
a lot better now.
But
They got
there's
a much better
also,
offensive line.
regardless of where Deshaun Watson is and where Russell Wilson is now, there's a very big difference between Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson is
Athletic.
a dual threat quarterback in the sense that he's either going to run or he's going to throw.
Exactly.
Russell Wilson is a pocket quarterback
That can with escapability.
Yeah.
that runs and
Exactly.
escapes better
Yeah.
than almost any pocket quarterback ever.
Yeah.
So-
it's some of the plays Russell Wilson makes.
There's a big difference in what you have to worry about when you're protecting Deshaun Watson compared to when you're protecting Russell Wilson.
But if Deshaun Watson does get time today,
If he gets
Derwin
time.
James is not there. He came on insane. Like last year, he was insane. He was he was playing out of his mind. He was up there, top 5 safety.
Oh yeah.
Speed,
Easily.
ball hawk. He can tackle.
He's-
He makes plays.
he's good.
And without him, their secondary is really struggling because their defense isn't all that strong. I mean, they
No.
have Joey Bosa, but
They got Bosa, they got the Melvin Ingram guy, they got decent linebackers, but still, without Derwin James, that's just kind of missing their
because
key
it's
piece.
a
on
passing
defense.
league now.
Oh yeah.
They do have
Like-
Casey Hayward, but
He's-
so
he's getting
old.
last
He's
year.
getting
old.
Last
Derwin
year
James
he
is
was.
something else.
Last year Casey Hayward was one of the probably top 8 statistically best corners in
he was
football.
solid.
But when you don't have the
safety.
the surefire guy in the secondary with you, like that Derwin James was, after they lost Eric Weddle, they brought in Derwin James to almost take his space. They don't have that like real second safety. That you rely on one person, and in the past, Casey Hayward has been that guy that you can say, go cover him, and you don't have to worry about it anymore.
I don't think anymore.
But when you don't have the extra protection behind you, it's kind of hard being in Casey Hayward's position to be like, okay, I have to do this all by myself, and I don't have any help.
People don't realize how much better sometimes safeties make corners.
Yeah, safeties help
when
a
you
lot.
have
That
two
over
good-
top coverage,
exactly.
someone burns you downfield, that safety comes up and helps you out, and that takes that person out of the play
Like, safeties
completely.
make corners better, and just having a good safety makes so much more of a difference, and having that guy like Derwin James. But score on this one, I think Watson's going to have a big day. I hope Watson's going to have a big day because I really like him. I really like Deshaun Watson a lot. Like, I think he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league, and I would like to see, like, he can play, like, not Mahomes-esque, but a top 5. He could play like a top 5 quarterback, but he has the weapons. He just doesn't have the time. He doesn't get the ball out, and he doesn't really have a running game either. But I think he's going to have a big day today, so I'm going Texans 35, Chargers 24.
I think it's a close game, like really close, like comes down to the very end. I'm going to go Texans 21, Chargers 20. I'm not a very big fan of what I saw out of the Chargers last week against the Lions.
Yeah.
Or the Lions?
Yeah, Lions.
So
Phillip Rivers got picked off in the end zone to lose the game.
I don't know what that was, and I would love to see it the rest of the year, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
Phillip Rivers is the most confusing quarterback.
Just the way he throws.
He throws weird.
Don't
and, like,
understand it.
He's a short ballot Hall of Famer, but he doesn't win big games, and he loses games like that. Like, he has the drive. Like, I feel like another quarterback, like, take Drew Brees and put him on that final drive. He's scoring a touchdown.
Yeah, he's
like,
scoring.
it's the Lions.
He's absolutely scoring.
And Phillip Rivers is like, oh, let me just throw at maybe the best corner in the league, and they got picked off.
Yeah, I got this game. I think the Chargers are going to bounce back. I think Keenan Allen's going to have a big day today. I feel like the Texans even going to kind of focus on Eckler, trying to shut him down. I do like Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen's probably one of the best route runners in the league.
Yeah, but he gets hurt so much.
He gets hurt a lot. That's the only downside. But this game, Keenan Allen's going to have a big day. I think the Chargers are going to bounce back. I got Chargers 26-20.
35-30 Chargers. Chargers going to dominate this game. I feel as though it's going to come down to a couple defensive plays, and I like their pass rushers a little bit more than the Texans because they got Melvin Gordon and Joey Bosa, and Watson never really have too much time like that. But Keenan Allen's going to show off. Like, he's my second favorite receiver in the game, and his route running, I think he's the best route running receiver in the game. And I don't think that secondary is ready for what Phillip and the boys are going to bring. Phillip is a good quarterback. He don't show up in a lot of big games in the playoffs, but he is a quarterback who got really good accuracy and a lot of touch on the ball. He's a very good quarterback, but he just don't show up in them crucial moments in the playoffs. But in the regular season, he really brings it, and he got the team to bring it. And I think Austin Eckler is still going to show off. I don't think they got what it takes to stop that man. He's going to do his thing today. Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler, even maybe Mike Williams. I think it's going to be a shootout, and they're going to get a lot of points, and Melvin Ingram and Joey Bosa is going to stop Watson when it matters.
That's a good prediction, Josh. I agree with that because Ingram and Bosa are going to have to make a difference for the Chargers in this one. Next thing we're going to highlight is the Lions and the Eagles. Key things to talk about for the Eagles: no Deshaun Jackson, no Alshon Jeffrey.
Most likely no Dallas Goedert either.
Yeah,
he warmed up this morning, but I don't think they're going to play
probably
him.
no. We'll figure out in about 45 minutes if Goddard's going to be a go or not. So, but that's 3 big losses because Goddard is a really good tight end. Deshaun Jackson is your over-the-top threat, and Alshon Jeffrey is the big man that you just throw the ball up to, and he catches basically everything. But what I'm looking forward to in this game is how Carson Wentz plays without them. Because we saw last week, once they got hurt, he didn't play as well. But to be a good quarterback in the league, you had to be able to play without your weapons.
Yeah, I really want to. I'm looking at that too. Because last week you saw them, they were kind of just off in the beginning. It was really bad. But this week you got a week of game planning with these guys. You got Arcega-Whiteside, Mac Hollins, still got Aguilar.
I really like Whiteside.
I do like
think he's gonna
Whiteside.
be
I do really like Whiteside. You get him some more reps and all that, I think he's going to be good.
Especially playing with the ones now in practice, I think that'll help him out a lot.
I just want to see how they play against the Lions. I'm not so much looking at Aguilar because I feel like Darius Slay will have him kind of locked up.
Yeah, if Darius Slay. I don't know what they do with Slay because you know how they said Ramsey's the one guy that shadows everybody around the field. I don't know if they'll leave Slay on Aguilar because I don't know how much they respect Aguilar.
Yeah,
they
probably.
I think maybe
they probably
if Jeffrey was out there, they might have.
They probably would do
shadow
that,
Jeffrey.
him or Jackson, just so they don't have Jackson burn him over the top.
They have 3 guys that are all around the same. Like I think Aguilar is a solid slot 3 wide receiver guy. Whiteside, they're kind of the same.
Yeah, Whiteside and Mac Hollins are 2 kind of just tall, big receivers, good for red zone targets. Like you throw up a fade, there's a decent shot they could come down with it. I'm looking for just a big game from them and Carson, just an overall good game.
I think it's
Don't
gonna be
start
a
out
low-scoring
slow.
game.
I could see that. I mean, I think the Lions are a good team.
I don't know.
I think they're a good team.
I mean, they're okay. They're not great,
Yeah.
but they have Matt Stafford. They have Kenny Galladay. Kenny Galladay is a stud.
Mm-hmm.
He is one of the best oncoming wide receivers in the league. He's a big target. He can run. Great hands. I really like him a lot, and I think he could have a big day. If the Lions are going to win this game,
they got Hawkinson too.
Oh yeah, I forgot
He's-
Hawkinson's
yeah.
a.
Lions are not a good team. Why are we talking about the Lions? The Lions are in a
They
good
beat the
team.
Chargers last week.
They don't got good weapons. What? No.
They have
no.
weapons.
They're always a solid team. Never good enough for
Kenny
playoffs. They're
Galladay
just like
don't got what it
mediocre.
takes, to be a number one in this league.
Kenny Galladay is a number one in this league.
I don't
against
think
I would
Eagles.
take him. I would take Kenny
Eagles suck,
Galladay
right?
as a number one wide receiver on a lot of teams in
on
the
a
league.
lot of teams.
Through
He's
24
oh,
games,
man.
Kenny Galladay
I think he
had
would
the-
like you to saying that, but I'm glad you got a lot of respect for him, but he ain't that.
Through 24 games, Kenny Galladay had the same career stats as Calvin Johnson.
Kenny Galladay he ain't consistent enough for me. I don't
He
respect him.
has the stats. He's proven it every game, game in, game out.
I ain't a
And
believer of him.
He's the guy. Everybody knows Kenny Galladay is the Lions' number one wide receiver.
The main thing for this game, earlier in the week I was kind of worried about the Lions just because of our receivers and whatnot, but then I saw them put something on the Rocky statue. And the last team that did
Yeah,
that
I know.
was
I
the
saw that.
Vikings.
I saw that on Twitter.
You
as
remember
well.
the score when we played the Vikings?
Yeah, 38-7.
38-7.
It's just bad karma for them. But I think
Bad
this is going
luck.
to be a
Don't do
low-scoring game. I mean, the Lions, they still got Snacks Harrison on the defensive line. They got Darius Slay. They are, like you said, they're a solid team. Matt Stafford, he's underrated quarterback. I'm not saying he's a good quarterback, but he can win you games. He still has that insane arm strength that we've seen out of him, but he just makes really bad decisions most of the time. So what do you got to score for this one? And Eric, what are you looking forward to as well?
I don't trust the Eagles secondary
Neither do I.
against
Neither do I.
the Lions receivers. I disagree with Josh. I think Kenny Galladay is a one.
Yes, he is.
He is that dominant, intimidating. He's not the same size as Calvin Johnson because most likely you're not going to find many guys that have the same size and talent level. T.J. Hawkinson had a second really good game. Marvin Jones is still a bigger
I forgot
guy.
about Marvin Jones.
But
yeah.
the Eagles,
Him and Galladay,
the
that's
Eagles
what, like
secondary
6'5",
isn't very
6'3"?
big.
Uh-huh.
And Kenny Galladay has, like I said to Josh, has a similar stat line to Calvin Johnson through that amount of games. I don't know. I think the Eagles' pass rush dominates the Lions' offensive
Yes,
line.
yes.
Matt
Eagles-
Stafford's never had a good offensive line. He just recently they drafted Kerryon Johnson, but he hasn't really lived up to
The hype
what
yet.
people expected.
But
He'll be good eventually. I think those two might cancel each other out. The Eagles' pass rush and the Eagles' secondary, like weakness and strength, cancel each other out. But I think Wentz redeems his first two games.
Yeah.
And-
Well, no, the first game he played really well.
Well, people came in
Second
with,
half of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
People came in
first
with
game.
MVP expectations, and that's
I mean, he lived up to him.
It's
If you
been
look at his full game stats, you don't watch the tape. Those are MVP numbers he put up in the first game.
Absolutely MVP number.
well. I think he bounces back. I think he has 2 touchdowns against the Lions. I don't think he makes many mistakes.
What's the score?
I'm gonna go Eagles 18, Lions 15.
Luke?
I got the Eagles 27-21. I think the Eagles will finally get a touchdown in the first quarter.
Yeah, that's the
Finally.
biggest thing. You look at the stat; it was some crazy stat.
It's,
They were
yeah,
getting
last
outscored bad
2 years
because-
ago we were the best first quarter team.
Yeah,
last year
were the
we were the worst.
and you're the worst again this year.
And also
They're
the worst
again this year. Josh, what do you got to score?
I think the final score is going to be 28 Eagles, 17 Lions. I think the Eagles is going to probably go off to another slow start without the weapons pretty much in the fold. But Eagles, as you see, they turn into be a second half team. And especially in the fourth quarter, I think they're going to turn up on these guys. I think Marvin Jones will probably get off on the Eagles, but not Galladay. Like I said, I don't think he's going to do that much. But I think he'll probably get off. But I think Arcega-Whiteside will be a key guy to show off today, and Miles Sanders. I think they'll get the running game involved without the weapons there, and Zach Ertz will have a good game. But overall, I think Carson will show that he's still an MVP candidate. And the thing is, with quarterbacks, I feel as though the resiliency is a key thing. You can get over the humps. And this is going to be a game where you see you get over the humps. And even in the second half of the Falcons game, he showed up. First half he didn't, but the second half he did. And I think he'll probably start off hot in the second quarter on. So, yeah, that's my prediction for that.
I'm gonna go with the Eagles 17, the Lions 13. I think Kenny Galladay is going to score a touchdown. I think Kenny Galladay is going to have over 100 yards. I think he's going to tear apart the Eagles' secondary. He's going to have a big game. Not a big game as a wide receiver, but they're not going to score that many points. The Eagles are the more talented team, so that's why I think they're going to win this game. But it's going to be low scoring because I don't know what Wentz is going to do without those weapons. So I got Eagles 17, Lions 13. All right, so next game, Saints, Seahawks. First thing we got to talk about in this one, Drew Brees. Broken thumb, -1 fantasy points last week. Not great. And then Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is an elite quarterback. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a top 5 quarterback in the league. I've been saying this for years. He's my favorite quarterback. And he
was
just
good
balls
last
out.
week.
He just balls
good.
out.
Always.
He's 5'10", 5'11", and he just throws the ball. He's not even.
Barely.
He throws the ball all over the field, and he's finally got weapons. He finally has protection. He finally has a run game. This Seahawks team is dangerous.
Seahawks look like a top 10 team.
The NFC is so strong this year.
The
The
Saints-
NFC is so strong this
Saints
year.
don't.
strong.
Well, all right, you can't say the Saints don't look like
Not
a top
anymore.
10 team.
Without Drew
Without
Brees,
Drew Brees,
they're not
like
the
you
Saints.
lose a guy that's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
Obviously, you're
one of
not
the
going to
best.
look like a top 10 team anymore.
Teddy Bridgewater was capable of winning games. I don't know that he is now.
I feel like he,
I like what Taysom Hill does.
but he's not a
But-
quarterback.
No.
I want to see. I'm not gonna. The jury's still out on that. I don't know if I want to.
Yeah, we haven't seen enough of
Decide.
him.
Sean Payton throws him into a few plays, and it's nothing special.
No.
It's not like you come in and you're like, oh no, they might score a touchdown
Yeah.
here because then they'll get like 5 yards.
You can't get into
Because
a
of it.
rhythm that way.
Now-
But if he
No.
plays more,
I haven't seen their schedule for the next 6 weeks, so I don't know what it looks like.
neither do I.
I think-
If
I
they
think it's a tough
somehow
schedule.
manage to go 4-2, then I think you can still keep them in the. But if you lose 5 of the next 6 games,
Yeah.
it's going to be really hard for them to make the playoffs because you're in a division with Carolina. Well, Cam Newton's out, but you're in a division with Atlanta, and the NFC's strong. It's going to be
So strong.
Challenging to
NFC
get the
is
wild card
crazy
that-
this year.
losing, regardless of whether it's Drew Brees or if it's just a guy that, say you had Alex Smith that can win games with. If you are in the NFC and you lose that guy for 6 weeks, it's going to be hard to make the playoffs anyway.
Yep.
I know they got obviously the Seahawks this week, but the next week they have the Cowboys.
The Cowboys are good.
Yeah, Cowboys are
Like,
good, so
the
the
Seahawks
Cowboys
are
might
good,
go
the
4-0
Cowboys
just
are good.
because
The
of
way I see
Drew
it, it's
Brees being
0-2
out.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they're winning today.
They also got the Bears coming up. That's probably.
Oh, I don't know about all that. Without Drew Brees, I mean.
They got the Jags in there. They got the Buccaneers. They got some games that is winnable. But
Yeah, but without Drew Brees against that Bears defense, they're not going to score many points.
yeah, I agree with you. And they got the Falcons coming up. They hope that Drew Brees could be there for that Falcons matchup.
Yeah,
but-
so they got tough. Like
They
there's
got a
there's
tough
no easy
schedule.
game in the NFL at all, unless you're
No.
playing the Dolphins.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's no easy game in the NFL this year. There will not be. There no team's going to back down. Obviously, it's the NFL. Like even the low tier teams that I can think of, the Bills. Josh Allen, he's solid. He can.
I wouldn't
Their
consider the
defense is always
Bills.
solid,
I would
too.
not consider the Bills a low quality team.
They're 2-0, aren't
Okay,
they?
yeah. I mean, yeah, they're 2-0, but I don't know. Like,
I
you know
mean,
what
they're
I'm
always
saying?
kind
the
of
AFC,
average.
like,
Their
the
defense is always
I
solid.
feel like the
AFC
NFL
isn't
is so
strong.
competitive this year.
It
Just
is.
as a whole.
Yeah.
Like teams are beating. We saw a really weird week 1 on teams like beating teams they shouldn't have. But maybe that's just going to be
It's always kind
lookout
of like
for
that.
the rest of the season.
Yeah.
I would say the Jets are a low quality team. The AFC's bad enough that I could see the Bills pushing for a wild card.
Yeah, who
They
else?
could.
Yeah, I
They
mean,
could. If
maybe.
There
you go-
really
if
isn't
you go-
another
If
kind
you go
of
8,
6
9, and
team.
7, you could push for a wild card
Yeah.
in the NFC.
Yeah,
Because
you
our
could.
other
But
wild
that's
card
not
team
gonna
will
get it
most
done
likely
in
be the
NFC.
Chargers.
No,
No,
but the Bills
NFC.
aren't in the NFC.
NFC, you could go 10-6 this year and maybe get a wild card.
You might have to go
NFC's gonna be
11-5 to get the second wild. I don't know about all that.
it's gonna
But
be
we'll,
good.
we'll see how it plays out, obviously. But
It's week 3.
yeah. Oh, we're talking about the playoffs. But, I mean, that's what every team, you're obviously playing to get to the playoffs because that gets you a Super Bowl. But what do you got? Score this game.
Score, I'm going to go Seahawks 28, Saints 13. I don't think the Saints can score.
You don't think the Saints score? I mean, the Seahawks defense isn't the same as it was.
No, but
No,
I
but
feel like
their
Kamara-
offense is much
But
better.
if the Saints start feeding Kamara more, they might take a little pressure off Teddy B. And Teddy B was a really he led that Vikings team.
He was, and then he got his knee. I don't even know what happened to that. He could have got that amputated.
Yeah,
It was
Yeah,
bad.
it was a brutal injury. I would really like to see him do well.
Yeah.
Because
I hope he does.
I hope he has a good game.
Yeah. I got Seahawks 20, Saints 14. I think just Russell Wilson again, consistent.
Russell Wilson.
another just
Absolutely.
great day. He's
Yeah.
so good. You can't.
Yeah, you can't.
I don't know what.
I
but
don't.
you
I
just
don't think
can't do
anybody
anything to
can
stop him.
hate on Russell Wilson for what
Really
he does,
can't,
and he's
no.
just a great guy too. He's all around good person. That's why he's such like. I like him so much as a quarterback, a person. Everything he does, everything he is on the field, he's a leader. He's helping Metcalf out a lot. He's helping all his targets. Metcalf's having a good
Metcalf
year so
looks
far.
good.
And it's crazy because people were like, "Oh, he's just a big body. He's just
And
strong."
he brought out
Yeah.
the baby pacifier
Yes.
mouthpiece for the
Yes.
second week in a row.
Two.
I wonder if we'll
If he
just wear it
sticks
the
with
whole
that.
season. Yep.
No,
Maybe something.
I'd get tired of that after a couple weeks.
Josh, what do you got with score?
I got the final score being 24-14. Seahawks going to win. I think the Saints will do, pretty good, even without Drew Brees. I think Sean Payton will keep them together to try to make the game somewhat competitive. But I think in the end, it will be, Seahawks with Russell Wilson, that deep passing game. Because secondary on the Saints isn't really that good. But that DK Metcalf will get involved again, and Tyler Lockett, the run game. They'll have the control of the game pretty much with the running game involved. But I think the Saints still will be competitive, though.
I got the Seahawks 24-17. I don't think Russell Wilson's going to let the Seahawks lose this game. But I'm just really intrigued to see if Bridgewater comes back and somehow flashes back time. I could see the Saints pulling this one out. But 24-17 Seahawks. The last game we're going to talk about this week, Sunday Night Football, Rams, Browns. What do you think?
Baker Mayfield is not good this year so far. And
Well, I mean,
he's not.
He was decent last week, but he's missing a lot of throws.
He's still. Like,
He's still
it was
early.
the Jets.
It's
It was
still
against the
early.
Jets, and he still just didn't kind of look.
They
But it's
can't-
early. It's
all
week
that.
2.
It
You
is
can't
early,
panic
yeah.
yet.
It's early, but we're doing a show on week 3, so we only have 2 weeks to go off of. I mean, Baker isn't supposed to be this so far. They can't protect him. Odell has had good games, but I mean, he's not. They haven't been able to take full advantage of him. The Rams receiving core looks better than it ever has. Cooper Kupp and
Kupp, stud.
Robert Woods,
Stud.
Brandon Cooks.
It's their
Stud.
I think
receivers
the
always
key
good.
is the Browns secondary because of the Rams receivers. Denzel Ward's questionable. Greedy Williams is questionable. They're more optimistic that Greedy plays than Denzel Ward. But even if they both play, Greedy Williams, dating back since the offseason and training camp, he's been more vulnerable than people expected out of like that high of a draft pick.
Yeah, I also think the Browns defense is underrated because they have guys that can get you.
Yeah,
a quarterback.
Miles Garrett
is
is-
a really,
he's a real
really
deal. He's
solid,
really good.
and he really gets after it
Yeah.
every game.
Yeah.
So I really like him a lot, but the Rams defense is just as good as
Yeah,
the
they
Browns
got Aaron
defense. if you
Donald
look
down
at
there.
it. Yeah.
I want to see.
Well, he got
just-
hurt last week for a little bit, but he came
Yeah,
back
I
in.
mean,
That was a
probably
scare.
play.
If you're a
Yeah.
Rams fan, you just. But I think he's fine. I don't even think he was questionable or listed as anything this week.
Yeah, I mean, for the Browns, I just want to see how their offense plays out because they're just going to Odell as much as they can. Has anyone heard from Jarvis Landry?
Nah, I mean, he had a
Also, David
decent week.
Njoku's on IR.
Oh yeah,
That's
they don't
a
have
big
Njoku
thing.
either.
And
I just want to see
Baker
if they
loves
can get.
Njoku.
Yeah, I just want to see if they get Landry involved because Landry, even though he is wide receiver too, he's a solid wide receiver. He's a
Yeah.
good wide receiver. I
He
just want
could
to
be
see
a
if they
one
can kind
on
of get
a couple
yeah,
teams in the
a
league.
few teams. I just want to see if they can get him more involved. That kind of opens up space for Odell. Odell can get more yards, obviously do his thing where
Yeah.
he just burns people like he did last week. But then again, you don't know how Baker Mayfield is. You think he's going to be good, but then he comes out and he just doesn't look like what you expected him to be.
Baker gonna get it, man. He gonna get it. Like he showed what he did last year. That's what you seen last year is what Baker is. He just been a little off kilter
He
so
didn't do
far.
anything special last
Yeah,
year.
he been missing some throws, not stepping into some throws. It's like QB mechanics stuff that can be fixed. Like I feel as though it's just like the pressure. He's gonna get it going because I feel his personality and the way he is, he brings it onto the field. But I think Jarvis gonna get involved too this game. They gonna have to get him involved, and Baker gonna have to step up for them to win. And they know what they got to do.
I see Baker stepping it up, but I don't think they're gonna win this game. I'll start it up. Rams 23, Browns 20.
I have Rams 24, Browns 20.
I got Rams 28, Browns 17.
Josh.
I got Browns 28-24 in Rams. So that, like I
So
said,
you're the only one with the picking the Browns
Wow.
this week.
I'm going.
Oh, wow.
I believe in it, man. Baker going to do his thing. Have a whole lot of yards. I think Jarvis getting involved. I think they're going to get it going. They're going to shock the world. People not, throwing them in the trash can like Baker said.
Aaron
That's
Donald
what
might
they
have
need.
5 sacks against that offensive line, though.
Man,
That
I think
offensive line is bad.
I think they're going to do their thing, and their defense is good enough to keep them in the game as well. So Just keep on doubting him. That's what he needs. You need some to doubt him so he can show up.
Yeah, and we highlighted a lot of players throughout the week, so we're going to send it back over to Josh with you gotta do better.
Hey, guys, you already know you gotta and you better. You gotta start Dak Prescott. I'm an Eagles fan, and it pains me to say it, but gotta start with Dak Prescott against Miami Dolphins because, man, everybody is getting off on the Dolphins. So you gotta start Dak Prescott. You gotta start Saquon Barkley against the Bucs because they got Daniel Jones. And I'm sure they're going to have Saquon get a lot of touches still and be involved in that. So you got to start him. Then you got to start Christian McCaffrey against the Cardinals because when you have new quarterbacks come in, a lot of times you want your main weapons to be involved. So I still believe Christian McCaffrey be involved in the passing game and in the receiving game. You got to start Amari Cooper as well because, like I said, Dak Prescott is going to get off. So who is he going to throw it to? His main weapon is Amari Cooper. I think he's going to get a lot of receptions, a lot of touchdowns. You got to start Keenan Allen. We mentioned Keenan Allen earlier. His route running ability is going to be phenomenal against that secondary that is weak. And Phillip is going to try to get a lot of yards, and he's going to go at Keenan because Keenan going to be open a lot. And you got to start Zach Ertz. Eagles don't got a lot of their weapons in there, but Zach Ertz is still a constant. He's there. That's Carson Wentz's favorite target. I feel he's going to get involved a lot. He's going to need to be involved for the Eagles to win this game. And you got to start the Patriots defense because they're going against the injury-plagued Jets with a quarterback that we don't even know who is the quarterback really. And I think the Patriots defense is going to get off because they've been phenomenal and sound so far. So you got to start him. You got to start the Patriots defense if you want to win your league. And you better sit Derek Carr against the Vikings. The Vikings defense have been bringing it so far this year against quarterbacks. You saw what he did against Matt Ryan the first week. So you got to start the Vikings defense because I don't know if Derek Carr going to bring it, and Tyrell Williams is banged up, hurt. So Xavier Rhodes going to probably take him out the game, and they got a lot of pass rush. Derek Carr should probably throw a lot of picks. And you better sit James Conner. Mason Rudolph and all them guys with the Steelers. I don't think Mason Rudolph going to have a pretty good debut against the 49ers. I think the 49ers are a top 5 defense. I think they will be a top 5 defense this year, and I don't think they're going to let James Conner get off at all, pretty much. So sit him, please, and then you got to start the guys I told you if you want to win in this week 3. And I'm sure you'll be 3-0 or even 2-1. You'll have a good day if you start the guys I told you to.
Thank you again, Josh. A lot of good starts and sits for the week, but Eric, let's start with you. Who you got?
Okay, first, we're going to start Aaron Jones. I trashed on him last week, but the Denver run defense has been pretty bad. Okay. So we're going to go with that. Packers have a strong offense. Then we're starting, this year is going to be me consistently trashing on the Dolphins. Okay. Start anyone on the Cowboys. The Dolphins are brutal.
Yeah, it's bad.
And they've proven it for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I don't care if you're playing a CFL team. You're starting anyone that plays the Dolphins. And then you're going to sit Josh Gordon. I know AB's done, but I think the Patriots are going to run all over the Jets. I'll get into that when we get the bold predictions, and you'll see how firm I am in that one. Luke?
You got to start Chris Godwin. He's playing the Giants. Giants pass defense is, I think, 30th. They're not great. Jameis will have a bounce-back game, I think, but you got to start Chris Godwin. And then got to start Josh Allen, quarterback. They're playing the Bengals. The Bengals' defense is also just horrendous. I mean, Josh Allen obviously isn't great, but I think we'll get it done against the Bengals.
Solid.
He's a solid quarterback. Against the Bengals, he'll look good, too. I'm going, you got to sit Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon has underperformed the last 2 weeks. He's got, I think, 1.5 yards per carry. Not looking good at all. And then you got to sit Juju Smith-Schuster. They got Mason Rudolph back there going against the 49ers. Richard Sherman's still going to be on him. People may think Richard Sherman's kind of washed. I still think he's a solid corner. But I don't know. I'm not liking Juju today. I'm not liking the Steelers at all. So, yeah.
Mine, you got to start Marquise Brown, the Ravens wide receiver. Got to start Kenny Golladay, the Lions' #1 wide receiver. And then I'm sitting Matt Ryan because I just don't like his matchup. He's very inconsistent. He has a big game one week and he doesn't do good the next week. And I think this is going to be the week he doesn't do well. I'm sitting Jared Cook, the Saints tight end, without Drew Brees. I don't know how much he's going to get targeted. And this is a crazy one because I know everybody in all leagues across the world are going to start this man, but I'm sitting Christian McCaffrey this week. I'm not saying to sit him, but I don't think he's going to have that running back 1, running back 2 type of week. He's going to really struggle again this week without Cam Newton.
What I said, I think Christian McCaffrey going to really go off with Kyle Allen in there. Come on, man, you gotta be with me on that. McCaffrey
I
is
just
the guy.
I don't like McCaffrey this week at all. I'm not saying to sit him because he was probably one of your first draft picks, but
I have to agree with Josh on this one, not only because of Kyle Allen playing and Christian McCaffrey going to go off, but also because we're wearing the same shirt.
Yes.
And therefore I have to agree with him on
Yeah.
something.
You got the
That seems
Carolina
fair.
blue on, right?
So not only do we agree that the Dolphins suck, but also that Christian McCaffrey is going to go off.
Yes.
There we go.
You believe the guys with the polo shirts on. You got to believe them. They know what they talking about. They're classic men.
all right. Well, we're gonna go the final third week. Last thing, bold predictions. Josh, you started off.
Bold predictions. Well, you seen me talk about Baker Mayfield. You know he's going to go off against the Rams defense. He's going to have 300 and plus yards and 2+ touchdowns against that secondary. Aaron Donald, who cares? Baker Mayfield is going to go off. Then you got to go, I'm going to give Billy some love. The Bears with David Montgomery. He will have more scrimmage yards than Mitchell Trubisky has passing yards.
That's not love. That's not love. Come on now.
That's kind of.
I believe it. He's already taken over that starting job. I believe he'll show off like never before. So definitely look out for him. And I think the Eagles get 7 sacks today.
Oh wow.
All right.
Oh wow.
All right. That's,
Okay.
Brandon
really hope
Graham
so.
and Fletcher Cox and the boys is going to be all on Matthew Stafford. So watch out for that. And that means Kenny Golladay won't go off. Billy will. So, yeah, that's my bold predictions.
My bold predictions. This first one may not be as bold considering it's against the Dolphins, but I got Zeke will go for 150 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. Like everyone's been saying on the show, Dolphins are just awful. Don't expect them to do anything good. And my second one, I got J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, new receiver for the Eagles, going to have 2 touchdowns today. 2. He's going to go off today. I think he's going to have a really good day. Had a full week of practice. I think he's going to get it done today. And then last one, maybe an Eagles fan, but we're going to go Daniel Jones gets the Giants' first win this year. I think he's going to come out. He's going to look average, but average is going to get you a win over the Bucs. All you gotta do is be better than Eli Manning and hand it off to Saquon. Maybe give a slant to Evan Ingram. That's all you got to do to win, and I think he's going to get it done today.
Now, I'm going to follow that one. Daniel Jones goes for 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, and does win against Tampa Bay. Now, I said I have to get bolder every week, so that's what we're going to do. There was 1 tie in week 1, no ties in week 2. Week 3, there's going to be 2 ties. And lastly, whoever paid attention last week, I said Pats by 40. Now, bold predictions, I'm 1-5, and that's the one that I
I'm
won.
0-6, so you know.
I'm 0-3.
I said Pats by 40, they won by 43. So we're going up a little bit. They play the Jets. The Jets are slightly not as bad as the Dolphins. We're going Pats by 45.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And it's only as long as they're
bumping it
playing
up.
bad teams, it's only going to get higher. We're going to get the Pats by 70. It's
All they play is bad teams in the
Well, they
first
play
half
the
of the
Dolphins
season.
again.
They
so.
play the Dolphins again, we'll go Pats by 80.
So, my bold predictions for this week, I hate to do this one, but Dalvin Cook, Vikings running back, absolute stud, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. I'm going to give 2 Eagles predictions now that throughout the show I had to change it up. They're not good, so I want to do the fist bump.
all right,
It's
well,
against the
never
Eagles.
mind
I'm
then.
sorry
It's
for this
against
one.
the Eagles.
My first one is Darius Slay is going to pick off Carson Wentz 2 times.
I don't know.
Whoa.
Shut down corner. Carson Wentz is going to think his wide receivers are Alshon and Djax. Slay's going to get 2 picks. My second one, Kenny Golladay, 200 yards today. Kenny Golladay, wide receiver 1, one of the best in the league.
If Julio didn't get 200 yards,
Julio,
Right.
Galladay is going to
Kenny
get 200
Golladay,
yards.
200 yards this week.
Okay.
He's going for it. He's doing it. He's a beast. He's a wide receiver 1. He's the
Who is
man.
he? Who is he?
You will find out today. You Eagles fans.
Those are your bold predictions,
You
not
Eagles
mine.
fans who
All right.
haven't heard
Kenny,
of
please
Kenny
get this man
Galladay.
as your lawyer. He's definitely an advocate of you. Like, he must be your #1 fan. Change numbers or something. This guy, Kenny Galladay, sorry, not it.
Kenny Galladay.
No.
Golladay.
I ain't care
about it.
Kenny Galladay. Put some respect on this man's name. He is going off this week. But thank you for tuning in. I'm Billy Hunt here with Eric Van Horn, Luke Nichols, and Josh Mobley across the studio. Thank you, and tune in again next week to watch our predictions and everything around the NFL.